and to the initiates and to the cause and the mission of what it is that we're doing is because it's not expensive and it comes from nature. Like I don't care necessarily if you get the organic supplements or nootropics from the Flame On shop or not. It's cool. If I was able to give you something that made you think a little bit differently, I'm good with that alone. So knowing that you can get these things and knowing that these things can aid you in helping you healing yourself with your meditation work, with your ritual work, with your chakra work, with your shadow work, all of these things go hand in hand. And there's not an ingredient that we had that isn't natural. There's not an ingredient that we push that isn't organic. There's not an ingredient that we push that is manipulated by human hands. We don't do any of that. All of this is nature's calling, and we're just trying to shorten that span between you and realizing your connection with nature.
Because a lot of times, family, when you deal with herbs, right, it helps you quit the fuck shit, right? A lot of people have a hard time eating bad foods or mental clarity, and it's like when you deal with the herbs, it builds the space to handle how to stop those things, right? And I'm not talking about like one time a day. No, 3 cups, three cups of tea, right? Whatever herb you're working with, you need 3 cups. You need to work with for 30 months. Sorry, 30 days. I know Ron was like, damn. Nah, 30 days, 1 month. You should work with your herbs like that, or work with your combinations like that to help really bring in the effects of the herbs and the benefits to your body. Because think of this, right? If you see, my OGs got me hip, right? The body doesn't stop running, right? When you go to sleep, you know your body's still running and functioning. So when you think of this, right, before you go to bed, what are you drinking? Are you drinking soda? Are you drinking water? Because your body's going to feel whatever it's using that you're putting that fuel in. So imagine if you was drinking herbal teas before you went to bed, or you was drinking herbal teas constantly throughout the day. How would your body be running? How would your body be moving? Like, you got to really think of that, because most of the waste and inflammation that we have in our joints and stuff, we piss out. So if you was drinking lemon water in the morning, you're help clearing the bloating for your belly. So imagine if you had the ashwagandha, right? Nick, look, I've been learning how to make maca oat milk lattes, gang. Like, look, bro.
Wait a minute, you didn't tell me about that.
I've been messing with it, gang. Look, I'm trying to make this mushroom coffee and shit. So I've been throwing.
You doing secret shit on the low? You ain't even telling nigga.
Maca.
Here you go.
Malt sweetener. I'm like, shit. Don't they put this cold foam cream on this shit at Starbucks? Like, I'm really trying to make these changes, because when we have certain things in our life and we want changes, it's hard to make those changes when we don't have habits to replace them.
So part of the reason why, another part.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, man. Initiates back up in this thing one more again, man. The Hood Mystic, representing hoodmystic.com. Here with AD, Sacred Serpent. Man, we got a show, man. We about to just rebrand, man. This is episode 1 of the Initiates podcast. It's levels to this, man. Because it is levels to this.
Peace to the tribe.
Introduce yourselves, man. Let's get into this conversation. But before we get into that, let's do this infomercial one time for the 2 times.
Sacred Serpent, Sacred Dark Serpent. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us again. CEO, COO, FlameOnShop.com, Initiates for the Flame Substack. Really just a glorified technician, secretary, but I am a C student. I like to have fun. Yeah, the Spell of Fiat is in stores right now currently. It's the latest offering from the Serpent. Um, Flame On Shop is going strong day by day. The new tropics are in effect. You still get your 5 for 55. We got your moon bands on deck, and we got some divine feminine chakra jewelry coming through. I just got the email. It should be coming out real soon. So should be putting that up on the site probably tomorrow morning or tonight. Got some new newsletters coming down the pike and some good initiates, workbooks that I'm working on with the fellas. As soon as I can get some free time with them, Ashe.
Ashe. Be look out for the weekly horoscope on the website. We got that coming and updated. And of course, shout out to everybody. It's your boy AD, Alex Dorsey. You know, if you don't know who AD is, a lot of people always call me that. Been called that since grade school. It's just been given to me. So what's up with it? But really, tap into your herbal bag, tap into the Colombian Exchange, tap into Flame On Shop to really boost your nootropic lifestyle. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to herbs, it's cool to take these, but your lifestyle matters in account. So make sure you're making those changes today, especially with us.
Ashe. What's new at White Rabbit site, big bro? You got some new chocolates over there? You talking? We can't hear you.
I was just pulling up the Initiate Substack real quick.
Yeah, the fam need to know. Fam needs some more chocolate. You got some new chocolate down the pipe?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was on this Initiate Substack real quick, just dropping that link off to the people.
Yes, very important, intuitive. Actually, we just put out an article today on the human body and its mechanisms. Yeah, jump in, check it out.
The human machine.
Ain't on this internet alone, man. You know how this shit go.
Oh yeah, I be knowing. So yeah, we just put out an article today called "The Human Machine and Understanding the External Influences and the Path to Spiritual Autonomy." Oh, there they go. That's the Batman joint. Oh, those are the rabbit joints. They look like Batman from far away.
Hey, when I say that mode looks so good and crunchy, bro.
I could see the fruit in them things.
Look. I don't know if you look Hood. Please play the commercial because when they were stirring and mixing that mud, I can just feel.
Yeah, we need to see that White Rabbit site commercial.
Yeah, like bro, show the commercial, bro, because I was like, damn. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. When I get my candy bar, I'm gonna eat it with some ice cream. I ain't gonna cap it.
Sure good, bro.
I don't think you could eat that shit without ice cream, bro. I think you're doing yourself a disservice.
WhiteRabbitSite.com. You know the vibes, man.
Niggas can't tell me that shit don't look scrumptious.
Man, it is. I never had it, but it actually, I understand why people like that shit. That shit good as fuck.
That's why people. That's for people that eat with their eyes. Yeah, that's perfect for them.
So if we just
it's
yin and yang or masculine,
it definitely is worth the hype. I'm trying to pause this, but yeah, man, what we talking about today, man? Like, what's the vibe? What's the vibes been like since the last time we talked? What's the energy been like? What y'all been going? What's been going on?
Oh man, the one thing I can't get past is renewal and evolution. I
Mm.
think my perception is evolving, and it's evolving to the point where like the same old just won't do anymore. And like the renewal is like, um, I recognize that we're in a new season. The new year just began a couple days ago, and like now we're at this point where we're trekking into the next cycle. And yeah, renewal has just been on my mind, bro. Like renew everything, restart everything. Don't hold on to nothing that you had from then. Start anew right now. And why not, right? When you start anew, you're at your purest form. So yeah, I just been on that evolution and renewal. What say you?
Really being that like energy of like really realizing the creation and creativity that I have, that others have, and I feel like people don't tap into it. And to be able to tap into that, I feel like you really have to realize how spiritual you are, how spiritually you connect you are to things, because creativity is something that's found within ourselves. And a lot of people don't find themselves creative, right? Some people might find themselves like, oh, I can just see somebody do something and I can just do it. But I'm like, but that's the fact that you can still be able to create. You just ain't found your originality in it. So that's the place I just been in and really just been tapping in with the bros, seeing what we can create and really bring to y'all too and help y'all create. Because that's the point of the Discord. Join the Discord. Shout out to the Discord. Initiates for the Flame Discord. Link below. QR code all over. Check us out. What about you, Lil?
Yeah, man. I guess for me, I just been like trying to get my feet under, like just really allowing the anxiety to leave my body and just looking forward with a positive mindset and really just be honest about my mindset of previous times. Like if even if it was positive, like what was my blind spots? What was I missing? And being honest about it and making the changes and just really being like conscious and present. Really, that's kind of just my outlook, especially like this past week. I just been like you said, renewal and just really just evolving and changing and just really trusting the process for real.
Where did you have anxiety from, little big bro? I think I know where, but I want to hear you talk about it.
I mean, just general, like, just I think anxiety, just going to prison so young.
Hmm.
So I'm just always thinking like, when is some shit about to happen?
The
So
other
I'll
shoe
never,
to drop.
yeah. So I'll never really be comfortable for real. I always be like, but that affects everybody in my life for real. So it's just like, as a dad, gotta have a positive outlook, even if I gotta just be mindful. But like the outlook, but the actions to match the outlook is really what I've been working on for real.
Hmm. Hmm. I say to that.
What do you
Where
think?
did you? What you about? No, go ahead.
I said, what do you think really destroys like that output or like takes
Um,
away from it?
porn, bitches,
Hmm. Hmm.
sex, lust.
No semen retention.
Yeah, man. I
All of
mean,
those things fall in line. Yeah, I think almost all of it is centered around some form or another of sex or lack thereof.
sex education, spiritual work, all of that, lack of it, and like understanding like the only person that can really teach you is yourself and really growing into that. Because at one level, a person be like, "Damn, I'm lost. I need help." But then at another level, you can cultivate your intuition. So it's like you can either feel bad or do the inner work. and
Hmm.
really apply yourself to just know how this shit is going to play out, as opposed to like, man, I ain't sure I got kids, life and inflation and all that. It all like can play on your mind. But I done made it this far because like I have to challenge that initial fear. I got to look at it a different way. So it just be like you fight for so long, and then I guess like realizing my age, realizing where I'm at. I ain't fighting nobody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about
Hmm.
to argue with nobody. I don't care how people think about me. All of that shit play into it with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I be thinking of how other people be thinking.
Hmm.
I'm just letting all that shit go. You feel me?
Yeah, I can definitely dig that because I'm the same person. I not only think about how how I'm receiving people, but I also think about how they're receiving me. Outside of what my intent is, because my intent could be pure and in alignment, but if they're not receiving it that way, you know what I'm saying? There's still more work to be done, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm with you, bro. Like that's not the shit that I need to be thinking about. That shit falls in line with analysis paralysis. You're just thinking about shit too much. And then you get to a point where you realize you can't control everything in this honeycomb, right? You can only control your output and your intake. So yeah, that's what I'm focused on, bro.
I feel you. Where you find this video at? Like, who is this lady?
I was doing some research last night, and she came across my algorithm, and she's talking about the things that people don't talk about when they talk about relationships, and opposite sex. So I think she's a impartial voice considering, the red pill manosphere and the boss babe chick echo chambers. Like I think she's an impartial voice because she's saying something that neither side is saying.
Let's get into it. Let me know if you can hear it.
feminine energy
Yep.
and accepted that everybody has it, we wouldn't be vulnerable to the blind spots. Because if I teach you that men are only this way, when I see a woman act that way, it'll just go right past me. I mean, there. It used to be when studies were done, they didn't even pay any attention to the females. It wasn't until DNA testing when they were able to, test. Like I think it was there was some the first test were on gorillas when they found out that none of the offspring belonged to the male. So and they were like, well, nobody ever saw her do it because one of the things that I talk about in my book, I can't remember the author, um, but she said that they never saw them. Like, what were they doing? And then when they went back, when they got the test results, they noticed that they would just wander off once a month. So if you think about that, if a woman's urges aren't as frequent, it goes undetected.
So you said nobody is saying this. You tell a girl or tell a woman, you show a woman this, how you expect her to respond?
Oh, oh, she ain't gonna like it. They said they tested the gorillas, bro, and the offspring did not match none of the dads. Like none of the dads. I don't know how you think she gonna respond.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's like the secret code. She let like she telling all of the secrets.
Yes, she is.
I
Yes,
don't think I ever heard nobody say this before in my life, but it make all of the sense in the world to me.
all of the sense, bro.
If you call him daddy, I know he gets in the panties.
Said nobody ever
You see what
saw
I
her
mean?
leave the camp.
But a DNA test.
But it sounds like women today, bro. Like on one hand, we all know that they doing something, right?
But we don't see them
But
doing
we
it.
don't never see them do it, right?
But we
Until
see
the
the
tests
kids.
come back, right? Like until the tests come back, then it's like, mm,
Ain't there some saying like you see dogs fuck, but you never see cats have sex?
I ain't never seen a cat have
I ain't
sex.
never. I don't think they're real. Like I don't think cats are real.
I ain't never
But that's
seen a
another.
Chinese.
That's another story. Like I ain't never seen a baby pigeon, my nigga. But that's another story. Okay, like
Crazy.
yeah, let her cook.
So, you know, the bottom line is you start with, is infidelity, cheating on your partner, right or wrong? You know, and if you believe that it's not right, then I don't give a shit why he did it. You know what I mean? So we can go back from there. And that's one of the things when, men, they want to start exploring the reason before they get a commitment from the wife. It's like, well, she really just doesn't know what she wants. Because the subtitle of my book is Living in Limbo, what women really mean when they're not happy. And once a woman cheats, this is what I'll tell you that I've noticed. That once a woman cheats, she doesn't want to stop. It's like, whereas a man, he can, because I'm talking to you about more from a traditional male perspective. One of the things that Dr. Glover talks about is that each generation of men past World War II has become increasingly passive. So when we talk about males today, it's different than talking about males before. So the traditional male was never, he wasn't in the dark about his sex drive. He understood that he had impulses, and by the time he got married, he may have figured out ways to control those impulses. So once a woman cheats, if she's never done that before, if she's never cheated before, it's like, women are very honest when we're talking. It's like, there's no shame. Just let's get in there and let's talk about this. And it is, I'll die if it's like, I can't imagine. So it is a true just addiction. Her life just becomes all consuming about this affair. And the big difference, that's the thing that men are most fooled by, is this belief that women need an emotional connection to have sex. And so what I wanted to explain is this, that women need to be attracted to have sex. And if a woman is attracted to a man, she feels emotional connection. It could be the most superficial connection there is. So in terms of emotional connections, it's very different for men and women. Men's emotional connections are much deeper. Okay. A woman's are much more superficial. Dime a dozen. It's like spreading your seed. Like a man can have sex and it cannot be a big deal. A woman can make an emotional connection. It doesn't have to be a big deal. But if she's attracted, she'll make it a big deal. I've had women that have gone on a trip. They talked to someone for 20 minutes on a plane. And 2 weeks later, they're going to separate from their husband.
Whoa.
She was cooking, bro. She was cooking.
Whoa. Whoa. Now, once again, it just seemed like saying things that nobody would say.
I mean, and first off, she's not the melanated skin tone, right? So she really don't care. She doesn't have she doesn't have a proponent in this war, right? In this race. She looks like she's from, I think she's from the UK, if I'm not mistaken, too. So like, she's not beat for what's going on over here, right? So she ain't got no reason to lie to kick it. You dig me?
There's a motherfucker that care about that craft.
And she clearly knows what she's talking about. But let's unpack that for a second, bro. Like, A woman doesn't necessarily need an emotional connection. She just needs to be attracted, and therefore she can manufacture the emotional connection through her attraction. That's counterintuitive to what we were taught. We taught if she opened that thing up, she got to be emotionally tied in.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case. You got a woman telling you that a woman's emotions are more superficial than anything. So it sounds like the way men are so frequented as to throwing out logical explanations and reasonings and so forth and so on, a woman throws out emotions that way. It's like a snake shedding its skin, right? She can throw them shits off of her. She can make them real or make them obsolete depending on how she feels.
I think when you say that, it makes it a lot of sense why that's being hidden. Because if you say that to me, I'm not going to want to deal with a woman.
Yeah. Why would you? Like the man loves from, and the man feels and loves from a deep area, right? She doesn't necessarily do the same. So it sounds like to me like niggas are falling in love with women who are not in love.
And can we talk about how she said that when the man cheats, he will, let me chill out. But when a woman cheats, it's like, fuck, I can't get enough.
Bro, the thrill. Every woman's, I swear to God, every woman I've met, every woman I've been around that I've had this conversation with, I can concur on that point. Every woman's fantasy in some way or another is tied to some level of cheating. The passion and the desire comes from it coming from a person that you're not supposed to be with. So that's the cheating. Think about all of their romantic novels. Think about all of their love story movies, like all of it, right?
Yo, you snitching with the romantic novels.
Point to one of them that doesn't have, so point to one of them that doesn't have the illusion of a cheating affair in it, right? Now let's peel that back a little bit more and let's ask this question. I'm good with that being the case, but because that supports the original claim, which is women are not naturally monogamous anyway, right? So if women are naturally monogamous, and through this whole concept of a patriarchy, they were square pegs forced into a round hole, right? Now, on the other side, you see them doing this thing where they've essentially adopted the concept of becoming men, being individuals, working for themselves, this, that, and the other, right? They've essentially become men. Now it makes sense, bro. Now it makes sense why. Because they're not naturally monogamous from the beginning. So just like men aren't naturally monogamous, neither are women. But this whole entire time, we've been all trying to force each other into these one-on-one relationships. And we already got to that a couple weeks ago. It's more than 51% fail at trying to do that. So we're talking about a 48% market that everybody's trying to buy into.
In the comments, someone, Ashe Not Affirmation, shout out to her. She said women mentally lead first, then the body follows.
Yeah, because she's more methodical. She's super methodical. When we're in our emotional bag, like we're not thinking with logic and reason. That shit don't.
I'm gonna thug it out, man.
Yeah, like that shit don't even work no more. Our logic and reason doesn't work no more because we fell in love. Like our logic and reason go out the window, bro.
All it takes is one good convo with a handsome nigga. That combo that y'all struggling to have, that he will give her.
And I give you a joke, bro. It don't even got to be a handsome nigga. Let him just have a little bit of charisma, bro. He could get the draws.
That's true.
But like in the reference to like the mental capacity, like mentally leaving I think when a woman mentally leaves, you don't realize that she have left mentally, and this is the part where you're like, all right, let's work it out. Let's try this. Let's go to counseling. Let's do this. Let's do that. And so a lot of that is when somebody is mentally checked out because as she said, if the love is superficial, I think it's a man's job to maintain that superficiality
Mm-hmm.
where a man might think like, well, we got a house, we got a kid, we got all of this, and that's not really the thing that she's looking for. Maybe it's a hug, maybe it's a kiss. Like I've had girls break up with me because I didn't want to have sex, but it's not that I didn't want to have sex, it's that I wanted to like talk
You
about
wanted to do
other
more.
shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we couldn't do more shit, I wasn't horny. Like I
Yeah.
didn't. And
Yeah.
so she
Yeah.
would be like, "Damn, you don't want to fuck?" Like you know what I'm saying? You just not gonna fuck me right now, and I'm just like, wait, like you just like, but it makes sense the way she's saying it when I think about previous relationships.
Mm-hmm.
What women like is sex with a story, So it's not just sex. It's not, oh, he's just hot. I have to have a story in my head, and that's when you think about what soap operas are. Women
Mm-hmm.
are attracted to, just like men, the shadow side of the masculine is an attraction to physical violence. For women, it's an attraction to emotional violence. That the idea of cheating, that always plays a role in women's soap operas. And it's always set like in hospitals or fire stations where people are dying. So it's all this drama with my sex. You know what I mean? Like all this intensity of emotion. So it's really not a deep connection. It's just intensity, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
typically women are the most attracted to men that scare them. It's, and so like a really masculine man, so she whether she's conscious of it
She
or not,
cooking.
she does.
She is cooking, nigga.
Yo, yo,
Listen, yo, she
yo,
let
yo,
all
yo,
the
yo,
cats
yo,
out the bag, nigga. Like, yo.
yo. So in a way, it's like she has to be scared of losing you too.
Remember about 13 months ago when we was talking about the thin line between love and hate?
Yes, sir.
Now you see what I'm talking about? Like she's
Mhm.
attracted to emotional violence.
Right.
Like I can't say that enough. Emotional violence, bro. Why do you think we gonna toxic this fucking relationship out and then go have makeup sex in a second, like right after? Right? Your girl just be depressed for mad hours throughout the day. Then y'all get into a random argument. Now she want to have sex. Right? Bro, she letting all the tea out the bag, bro. Like, Hood, I'm anxious to hear what you got to say about that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I feel personally like it doesn't make you want to build a relationship with a woman. Like it makes you want to just get what you can get and then
Keep it
like
pushing.
yeah, because I really love you. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Like I'm connected to you deep as fuck, and you just like discarding this shit. Like you just like, yeah, all right. Yeah, I love you too, nigga. Like, what?
Mhm. But then also the narrative is like, it's always flipped. Like men are dogs and women are the
Mhm.
deep lovers. So it's kind of hard, even for me, to process what she's saying. I can only reflect and think of it like, yeah, I agree with what she's saying, but I feel like I've been indoctrinated for so long that it's just hard to receive the truth or receive a different viewpoint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly why I clipped this fucking interview. because everything that you're saying is what I was thinking last night. Because initially listening to her talk and going through the interview, it was hard to digest. Not because it was hard to understand, but it was because it was hard for my programmed ears to accept it.
Yeah, it make you want to be like, man, where's she getting this shit from?
But it all makes so much
Right.
fucking sense, right? You're
Right.
just like, damn, that makes so much more fucking sense than anything I thought initially. Like, that makes more sense. That lines up with the woman only respecting her hormones versus anything else. Like, that lines up with that.
Is I always say like a woman doesn't ever really like you. She likes the way she feels when she's with you.
Mm-hmm.
And when she doesn't like the way that she feels when she's with you, she'll instantly correlate that into you um being a bad person or whatever the case may be.
Or
Like,
you just being unnecessary to be with. Like,
right, because there's so many times where like if the woman don't like you, her campaign subconsciously or consciously is to make the kids not like you. You know what I'm
by
saying?
default, by default.
Just a general purpose,
Mm-hmm.
easier to paint the narrative type shit, regardless of what you do as a man.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because if I could get the pile on, then that means I got more than one person to agree with me. Then, who can argue with the crowd, right?
Mhm.
Let's see what else she got to cook.
She doesn't, she's afraid she's going to get hurt. Like, this man's dangerous in some way. So just as men can be daredevils and climb mountains and go skydiving, that's very physical, a woman wants to be a daredevil in a relationship. Oh, I might get killed emotionally. He might rip out my heart. So, these are the types of things that captivate women. It's sex with a story. And this is where men get confused and they're thinking, well, if I just treat her better, if I'm just a nicer guy, if I just ask her how she feels more. No, the guy she's sleeping with probably doesn't ask her how she feels. He treats her very much like a woman sexually. It's about desire.
But Ari, what's the solution with a bitch? You feel me? Like, you feel me? Like, goddamn,
Yeah.
these
Go to
hoes
her
a
next
little bit
video.
too.
Yeah,
Huh?
go to her next video. She got some solutions. Go to her next one. Nigga
You
said,
shared
"Where's
it
the
on the
solution?" Yeah,
you
they
shared
all in they all in, oh,
you only
they
put
all in
two
a
in
row.
the,
Just scroll down. They all in a row right there.
yeah, you only put two in the
So
Discord.
if we just talked about yin and yang or masculine and feminine energy
Did we already
and
see this one?
accepted
Yeah.
that everybody has it, we
Yeah, go back.
connection. So first I want to point out that infidelity isn't a relationship issue. It's a development issue. By that I mean people only cheat at a certain level of development. And people are only desperate to save relationships with people that cheat at a certain level of development. These
What's she talking about, Serpent?
Well, think about the levels of dishonesty a person has to go to in order for them to withhold them sleeping with another person from their partner. So a lot of that is also connected to attachment issues from trauma and childhood, right?
Mhm.
So if you've never had to account for who you were spending time with, where you were going, and what you were doing when you went there, right? You never had the answer for that. Even though you're an adult that's with another adult and saying that y'all want to be in a committed relationship, if you've never exercised that muscle, right, of being accountable for where you are and what you're doing and what you're thinking and all of that shit, even though you're trying to be an adult and be in a relationship, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to be accountable in that relationship
Mhm.
because you've never developed that muscle. right? So it's like, you know how we always talk about the conversations are always some way, somehow leading to the point of trying to hold women accountable. And the reason why that argument always falls short, in my humble opinion, the reason why that never connects with the woman or the women that people are trying to hold accountable is because that muscle has never been flexed before. So if we're talking about women, we're talking about most women were taught to be raised as what? Princesses,
Mm-hmm.
soft, demure, yeah, needs protection, all of those things, right? Well, that individual still grows up to be an adult, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they developed along the way as they were growing into adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that same individual goes and gets into a relationship, right? And then that relationship ends for a multitude of reasons. But the one thing that the guy is saying about that relationship that ended is what? Well, she did this, that, and the third, and never owned up to it. I did this, that, and the third, and I had to pay for all of that. Right? Isn't the conversation always somewhere in that realm?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what she's describing. Like women, a lot of women have never developed that muscle to the point of understanding to even be able to have that capacity of being held accountable because they never had to. So if you never had to be held accountable, probably all the way up until you're an adult somewhere in college or on your first job, something tells me you're not going to be too good at that, regardless of right or wrong or not, or indifferent. If you've never had to be accountable, you're not going to be accountable. I don't give a fuck who you with. And I think that's what's missing with when we talk about women. Women were never in a position where they had to be held accountable. They were always protected. But now they're in this individualistic portion of things. Now they're in this I really can do it all by myself portion of things, right? And we or men in general still want them to pay for the shit that they've never paid for. Unfortunately, that ship has sailed, my brother. Like that ship has sailed. If you look at it on a macrocosm level, do you understand? Like, say all women were never held accountable a day in their life. You think now in 2025, women gonna be accountable? Does that even make sense?
I mean, I would add to that
Mm-hmm.
to say like the like if I was in a I've been in relationships with women where it's just bullshit. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just bullshit. I'm doing a lot and a bitch ain't doing shit. Period. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And fuck if we got kids. Fuck if we got shit together, man. And it just feel like you know what I'm saying. I'm about to go crazy, so I'ma just do something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then when I do something, I feel alive. I feel good. I feel like that's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do. And motherfucker might say, that's cheating. And very well could be cheating. And I feel like that's what people do when they in relationships where you're not satisfied. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm also in a relationship and I've grown up to the point where it's not something that I would ever see myself doing
Mm-hmm.
in the present moment. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. To add on to that, that's why the conversation and talking to the person you trying to be with or the person that you developing feelings for, the conversation questions really is important. Because 9 out of 10, we don't really know the person mind. We just get into bed, then ask after.
Yeah,
and
bro.
then we don't like after, and then like then we're disgusted with ourselves, and we could have saved ourselves that humiliation and shame if we would have just talked to a person.
Yeah, here's my solution since we haven't gotten to one yet, and I feel you 1,000%, just like I feel Hood, because I could see the thoughts rumbling around in his head, bro. Like I would say, listen, my little niggas, young niggas, like if you can't have a real conversation with her, you should not be laying down with her, bro. Because if you lay down with her first and then have a conversation and realize you don't really even like this fucking heifer, like, bro, those is the niggas that end up with a kid, right? By a chick that don't that you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you having
You
these
stress.
conversations after you already laid down and did the do with this broad, bro.
Man.
Like that can't be the goal. The goal can't be to sleep with this broad and then try and figure out if we can have a relationship. That can't be the goal.
Because the thing is, you want to build that awareness of a person. Because you don't really know a motherfucker, man. You think you know somebody, but you really got to be around a person to know them. You had years upon years. It ain't no weeks, months, and days.
Bro.
But then that's kind of like the catch 22 of what we have been raised and trained to like think about starting a relationship, because it'll be like a certain I've seen today, just today, I've seen women say, "This is what I have to do to vet men," and then I've heard men say, "This is what you got to do to vet women." And if nobody knows who's getting vetted, then we have a very serious situation, right? We should know who's buying a car versus the car that's selling itself.
Mm-hmm.
The car don't pay nothing.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? The car is being bought. But what if the car was like, man, you ain't got enough money to buy me.
Yep.
You ain't
Yep.
cute enough to buy me.
Yep. It just rolled your ass right off the cliff, right? Like, shoo, like,
Yeah.
tell Elon we need another one on the rack, nigga. Like, this nigga gonna die today. Like,
You like imagine the car walking past and like it gives off like a saying of how your money is, and like you walk past that bitch, all you hear is brokey.
Right.
Like
Right.
or you walk past that bitch that should just exhale. This nigga.
But see, like at a certain point, I don't think guys realize that they do the choosing based
Mm-hmm.
upon
yeah,
their energy. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
think women understand that they're to be chosen. So now it's very confused.
The roles have
It's
been
a very
reversed. The roles have been
it's
reversed, right?
the roles haven't been reversed. The roles are the roles, but the ideologies have been confused.
Mm-hmm.
it's like what Patrice O'Neill said. It's like basically it's like the shark and tuna allegory. You know, all the
Hmm.
sharks are taking their teeth out and causing tuna to run the ocean until tuna
Hmm.
goes, it's not a what happens to all the sharks? They ain't no real
Hmm.
sharks. you
Mm-hmm.
know
Hmm. Right. And I think she's speaking to that too. Like when she say that she want a man that scares them.
right.
Like so you don't ever lose your edge
But this,
or no circumstance throughout that relationship, because it's a whole nother point of like I'm dating you, I'm getting to know you,
mm-hmm.
right? Versus I'm vetting you to see if you the type of car that I want to buy.
hmm
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I want to know what type of person you are
Facts.
versus I'm getting to know you and I got to wait a year, 2 years to get to know you. I think that is the issue, and why if you're just hiring anybody for the job, And then you're like, well, the productivity is down 50% this year. You didn't even check her resume.
You didn't even see where that shit came from. Like, was
You
this
just
a
let her
doctored
in.
resume? Like, you don't even know if the resume is real. Like,
Hey,
She didn't even have
niggas
one.
resume be that punana. That's what it be.
yeah,
Yeah,
niggas
she
got
had a
Chat
fat ass.
GPT on their phone. Nigga, what the fuck?
That be the resume.
Nah, I totally agree, Hood. I totally agree, bro. Because if you're a young person and you're hearing this shit, like this shit, just I understand when they say now, just from listening to her. Like I understand now when they say nice guys finish last. Like, like I now understand why the woman is so attracted to the thug, right? Like she's so unbelievably attracted to that dude, right? He can't pay for shit. He can't take you nowhere, right? He can't do none of that shit for you, right? But the sex is good, right?
But
And
he
he's
scares
so
you.
he's so emotionally out of this world. Like his shit is just so off the charts. Like I don't know whether I want to fuck him or I want to call the police. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I
I see
don't.
what you're saying. Like, I see now. Like, I just gotta be musty and have a gun to like get these.
Yeah,
Okay,
you need a hole in your shirt, right? And you gotta
okay.
have
Pants sagging
you
hard as
gotta
fuck
have some
too.
jabros on without a belt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get you a wife beater too. That's a little dirty, a little
I would
cringy on the top.
I wouldn't say all that. I mean, you gotta be yourself. You gotta be the best version of yourself. But in reference to being in a relationship with a woman, it's like that Adam Sandler movie, 50 First Dates.
Mhm.
Like
Ooh.
it's not for you. It should, as a man, it should never be. I've been with her for 10 years and I got it locked, so I don't need to go to the gym. I don't need to like state the. I don't have to be a presence in her life. I can just kind of like stick my feet off the gas. So like in reference to like any and then once again your boundaries are there so you can cut her off.
Say that
That's the
again. Say
scary
that
part.
again. Say that again.
Your boundaries are there so you can cut her off.
Hmm.
That's the nature of the relationship. Now, if she's not cool with those boundaries or she just don't want to be with you, then you got to be okay with that reality because that's the nature of boundaries. The boundaries don't it's not like you can fulfill a fantasy.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That's not something that you could do because a fantasy is not real. You're a real live human being. And so you could play these games with women all you want to, but you will be suffering in your life. And then if you ever go through something, if you go to jail for child support, or if you just fucked up, you know what I'm saying? She not gonna help you at all.
Mm-mm.
She gonna laugh about it with your friends. She gonna be a story. Can you believe that this guy is homeless now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a fucking catch, right? I know. I
Mm-hmm.
sure know how to pick him and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. You feel me?
Yep.
She's
Yep.
going to dehumanize you, right? And you're gonna be just sitting there looking stupid. So you have to take care of yourself first and foremost. And then the second part is like, man, like make it to whereas she loves you today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? On a daily basis, you got a Mac. You know what I'm saying? You can't take her love for you for granted.
Yeah, two things. I can't gloss over how powerful what it is, what you just said. I'm gonna have fun clipping that. But two things that stood out to me from what you just said. The first thing would be your gut instinct and how I know a lot of us were trained on ignoring our gut instinct, but that gut instinct is there for a reason, and he and Hood just told you, like that instinct, and you get that feeling, that pain, that shit is that's the signal for you to leave this woman alone. And for so long, because we live in a toxic society that just has to dehumanize masculinity, men have been told to ignore their gut feeling. And that shit is there for you to leave that woman alone, bro. Real fucking talk. Like, and the second thing is like he said, showing, we were joking on the beginning of that, but you know, showing up as your best self, that's for you. That's not for anybody else. So like when you show up as your best self in perpetuity, right? And every day is a day that you're seeking out to have her fall in love with you every day. I think that's the other nail in the coffin for men, is that men think that once they get the girl, that's it. Everything stops. I ain't got to work out no more. I ain't got to wear clean clothes no more. I don't have to. I don't have to leave the house anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I can just sit in my boxes all day and scratch my nuts and play my PS5 because my woman, I got my woman already.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Those two things are really huge, bro. Like the gut instinct and the showing up as your best self every fucking day. Those are huge.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't tell you how many times I did that shit in my past, got the girl and was like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, that's it. I'm good.
But that's another thing of dealing. I think as men, because we don't believe in God, we generally attract women that don't like us. So we have to kind of like we do we it's just like, you know, we just blind because God gives us sight. God gives us vision. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So women that we deal with, it's like we in quicksand and we just imagine it to be like that's just what love is.
Mhm.
But real love, it take you places. It changes you. It shifts you. It gives you purpose. And I think that love is a spiritual aspect. But it's like I never really met a man that knew God for real in a space where like not saying I ain't never met a man, but I'm saying like when I'm meeting niggas on the street, basically,
Mhm.
it's just a general sense of like we be in the sauna just talking to niggas and they be like, yeah, man, I'm about to fuck this bitch later. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like,
Mhm.
man, I'm just trying to, you know, just get my dick wet or some shit
Yeah.
like that. They just
Just
real
regular camaraderie shit. Yeah.
low level niggas
Mhm.
Yeah.
that would if they ever got a goddess, they wouldn't even appreciate that shit no way.
Nah,
And
they would complain about that.
they wouldn't see it. You know what I'm saying? They'll be fucking a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And because of what this woman is laying out, how women are cool with it, that's the fucked up shit.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, and I guess that a lot of, and the best part is to just blend the two energies. Be an asshole, but love God with all your heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's my blend. Kiss my ass, but I believe in God. So
That's a
if you
fact.
want to if you want to pray with me, pray with me. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not about to love you more than I love God. And
That's a
that
fact.
tends to get the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it's going to expel. When I'm start talking about God and a bitch get all angsty, ants in the pants, I'm cool
Mhm.
with that too. You want to
Yeah.
argue, and I'm talking about prayer time.
Yeah, I use that. I use that the same way. Like that's how I get to my level of discernment. You know, if I'm having a conversation about this and I want to talk about something of high frequency, and you over there on that low ass frequency, like that's those are the red flags for me. I don't know about the red flags that other people be talking about, but those are my red flags. If I can't talk about the divine with you, if I can't live in the divine's presence with you, oh yeah, this is gonna be short lived for real, for real.
The main thing that they say about relationships that causes them to end is one person is staying the same, one person is trying to grow. And
It's
it's like,
levels
can
to
you
this
find a
shit.
partner to grow with you? My fault, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying there's levels to this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These are problems that people have at a certain level of development. The solution is your development. It's kind of like think of it as I think what I want to point out that infidelity isn't a relationship issue. It's a development issue. By that I mean people only cheat at a certain level of development. And people are only desperate to save relationships with people that cheat at a certain level of development. These are problems that people have at a certain level of development. The solution is your development. It's kind of like think of it as I think one of the best analogies for infidelity is physical abuse. So if a woman is with a man that chooses to stay with a man that beats her. So let's say, for instance, that you're a psychologist and I'm coming for help, or just a friend. And I'm like, Ralph, I got to tell you, my husband's been beating me up. And I've been reading books about how to get your husband to stop punching you in the face. But my husband, he told me that he likes it. He likes punching me in the face. And he doesn't know if he wants to stop. Who's sicker, me or my husband?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, gun to head, you got to choose. I'm sicker. You know what I mean? So if your spouse cheats and doesn't, there isn't a recommitment to the marriage, because in my opinion, there's only two choices if your spouse cheats. One is to end the relationship, and the other is the relationships, the infidelity stops.
I like how she explained that, because if you hear this and you like you get it but don't understand it, then she break it down like, okay, so if you get your ass beat and you choose to stay, that shows the development of your character and your mind to put yourself through that trauma.
What say you, Hood? I know you over there thinking. You muted, big bro.
I would just stopped it because I ain't wanted to yap for too long. But yeah, I think her point is valid. Like if it's just like a slippery slope with like my man punches me in the face and I stay. Like I know that that is sensational and that is some shit that is possible to happen, but it's like I don't think that the science of building houses became the science of building houses because niggas said, but what if we try to build the frame and we go to sleep and a tornado come? Tornadoes happen every year, at least 4 times a year in Oklahoma. We in Oklahoma, so I don't think we can actually go forward with building these houses because tornadoes might come
Yo,
and like break the frame. So
yo.
like when people like I just know it's me sometimes being a dog, but then at a lot of times I'm just like if I'm telling you something and you just like not hearing me because of how you was raised or how you was trained, that's always the case with me, bro. It ain't that I'm beating somebody's ass or yelling at somebody or I'm a bad guy. It's usually me. I swear to God, bro. Ever since I've been getting ass since 16, I've been using plain English and motherfuckers looking at me like, yeah, you just didn't say that. And it's just like, all right, okay, cool.
Hey,
I
bro,
get
bro,
it.
bro, 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 bro. Like real astrology, real quick. You a Virgo sign,
A
right?
Leo.
Leo, yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah, yeah. They gonna say that shit to you for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna act like you
Yo.
didn't say that.
like it just always, but it's always like I've been in this shit for so long. I ain't never gonna hit, and I be going through the craziest shit, and I be feeling like chicks be knowing you not about to hit her, and that be the crazy shit too. So it's like, yeah, that's my deep dark fantasy. I don't want to get hit, or I do. If you hit me, I'ma stay. I always, me and my wife, we always be joking like, cause I used to deal with this white chick, and she got mad. She did some crazy shit one time. She was like, "What? You're gonna hit me now? You're gonna smack me? Go ahead, smack me. I know you want to smack me." I'm just like, bitch, I'm not about to smack you. Like, yeah, I seen her fantasizing about this shit. She did this shit so I could like get mad and smack her. But I'm like, I ain't never going to jail for domestic violence. You never
Ever,
gonna see that on my rap sheet. Like, I'm
ever.
not about to touch you. I
Hmm.
don't care how deep the argument get. I can yell, I can do all types of shit, but I never think like,
Hey, hey, you
let me
ain't gonna
just
run down the
smack
street
this
like
bitch.
John.
Hey, hey! You ever had your girl get loud because she knew her dad was in the next room, nigga? Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga.
That's real life.
Yeah,
That's
nigga.
real life,
Like,
bro.
yeah, nigga. We in a regular conversation. Next thing you know, I don't care what you say. Stop yelling at me.
Hey,
What?
what's going on down there?
Wait a minute. I
Hey,
wasn't
what's
even
going on
yelling.
down
Like,
there?
what the hell just
Chest beat
happened?
like a
We get a knock
motherfucker.
at the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold up, nigga. Like, first of all, this is my house. Like, wait, what just happened? Like, yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, nah, you don't want to be like John running down the street and shit and getting chased.
Nah, bro.
Still end up with a case.
Nah, bro.
Mm-mm. I'm not getting so mad at a woman that even if the police get involved, they gonna be like, "Did you hit her? No, I ain't touch her." Like,
Mm-mm.
that's
Don't.
always I ain't touch her. Like,
Listen,
we got into an argument, we was mad at each other, but I ain't touch her
them niggas gonna
because
pull up and they might see scars on my face, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm like that's the only
yeah,
way you say you gonna get away if you
yeah.
beat the fuck up.
And then did she hit you? Nope.
Mm-mm.
Right.
No. You
You
want to
sure
press
you haven't been
charges?
touched? Eye
You want
black,
Nah, I'm
shirt
good.
ripped,
you
lip
want to press
busted.
charges? Nope. I'm
Nah, I'm
good.
good. I'm straight. Nah, it really wasn't nothing. Y'all like y'all could just leave, like for real.
Yeah.
I'm
Like I
like,
think it
Yeah,
was a butt dial, honestly.
yeah, for real. These
you
kids.
know the neighbors just knows we were just out here taking out the trash and shit.
But for real, like I mean, my whole thing is just like this. Like, I don't like when she's referencing it, like, it is a matter of development. I feel like the ultimate development is polyamory. And if a woman feels like she wants to have sex with another man, it is not a reflection on me. If I was her husband, if I was her boyfriend, if I was her brother, if I was her father, it is something within her that she wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether we got children together or whether we in the same family, I think like when we start talking about like girls and OnlyFans, I think like when we just have this shame, guilt, and embarrassment, this secondhand embarrassment is not a reflection on me if my wife cheats on me. I know that might sound crazy, but I will also be really vetting my chick to see what type of chick she is before I commit to her in the first place. But if I'm already dealing with a girl that I know is kind of like on that type of time, like when she leave me and she have sex with another guy, and my like you can't it she probably gonna do it. She had sex before you, she gonna have sex after you. So if she having sex during you, like it's all ego constructs that's built up in a man's mind because we refuse to understand women.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's something that we not going to do as men. We want women to be what we want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Maybe after like the 30th argument. Maybe later, actually. Sorry.
Niggas going to be in the fucking on their deathbed like I still don't get her, bro. I still don't understand this. So she driving me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Mhm.
Seeing niggas sacrifice they man so much shit in time.
Yeah,
But you do not even express them.
I just have to think back to all of the times that
Mm-hmm.
I was with the woman and I wished I was single. Right? I just think back to all of the times that I thought my woman was the shit and she wasn't shit. Like I think back to all of those times and I'm just like, you know, I played a huge role in this being a fucked up situation, but I'm not absolving you bitches of anything anymore ever again. Like I think back to all of that shit in my shadow work, bro, and like you be hard pressed to find a time in which from your past where you could sit there and say, well, you actually gave a woman the true credit she deserves. And I mean that on all sides. I
Mm-hmm.
mean that on all sides. I'm not even talking about blame or fault. I'm just talking about
No,
on
you
all
talking about.
sides.
I feel like you talking about meeting somebody and becoming the person that unifies the masculine and feminine
Mm-hmm.
energy
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
versus like staying into one polarity. And generally, when one person is one polarity, another partner has to be both to keep the
Mm-hmm.
relationship
Just to
afloat.
keep it balanced.
Because that one polarity is like a non-polarity if you really think about it.
Yeah.
It's like if the TV was off. You know what I'm saying? That's a polarity of one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
It's like you said, like if the two of y'all, like if your masculine doesn't offset her feminine, right? And vice versa, then what happens is like you said, the two of you end up in one position and there's a whole other position that isn't even accounted for. That
Mm-hmm.
position ends up turning into like a double blind spot, right?
mhm,
Because you come into it with your own blind spot already and she
mhm,
has hers. But when y'all form incorrectly, now you creating two blind spots and you put them together because y'all sitting on one pole and there's this whole other pole with no activity on it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the fuck is just here. You know
And
what I'm
that
saying?
never gets integrated, bro.
It never gets integrated because you are having a hard enough time just integrating your opposite, right? Your divine feminine, right, within to yourself. Then for her to get with her, and she has no concept of divine masculine within herself. Now y'all fucked. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
just two half people, like looking
mhm.
super weird out there, hopping on one leg with going the opposite direction. Like it's just super weird.
It's like both of y'all trying to run inside that bag.
Oh my gosh. You ever
So
try
if
to?
ever you have a problem with a person in the relationship, it's a reflection of some unhealed part of you
Mm-hmm.
that you have imbalance within yourself. That of course they have imbalance within themselves, but because it's an unhealed part that you have dealt with, it's just more prevalent that you become something that so when you're dealing with somebody, it's that one thing that they just can't get over. For a lot of people is cheating.
Mm-hmm.
So you will break up a relationship for cheating, but the truth of cheating is that that part of you that you haven't healed, that is polygamous, that's polyamorous, you haven't explored that.
Nope.
And you jealous and mad at people that do explore this because we like it's this video that I used to watch back in the day, and they said like the government really control people through gender and relationships because without it people wouldn't just naturally be
Mm-mm.
this way.
No,
But
they
you
wouldn't.
know it, but you know it because like society shows you that people fuck everybody and anybody
Mm-hmm.
because that's
Mm-hmm.
our nature.
Yep. And that's the part that, in my humble opinion, is what's missing from the appropriation when it comes to our approximation when it comes to women, right? Like we don't account for the female's animal nature for some fucking weird reason, right? Like I don't. It's not like a me versus you thing in this. We are all in this boat as men. For some reason, we want to discount and ignore that they are animals too, right? They have a feral, carnal, animal, lusting nature just like men. But we view them as soft and prissy and nice and beautiful and yeah, got the awesome baby hairs on it. Listen, bro, they are animals at nature too. They are chaos beings, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't give them credit for being chaos beings. What the fuck do chaos beings do? Like if we just thought about it from that, I'm only this passionate about it because I'm that upset that I didn't see this before. Like they are fucking chaos beings, and we want them to be soft and prissy. Like that is not their nature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We keep trying to put them into this soft, delicate box. That's not their fucking nature.
It's like the saying, see no evil, hear no evil, fear no evil. And it's like we're choosing to not look at that other side of things. Not to, say it's a bad saying, but it's also just like we gotta look at the other side of the saying, and we neglect certain things. We try to have a closed eye to it, like, oh, this is just this, and to the other side happen to us, it's like we're blindsided or hurt, we're confused. When if we always accepted it, then when we feel or observe these emotions, we don't take them on or accept them. We realize what they are.
I think that's what it is right there. The same way we can't recognize a woman's fierceness, we can't recognize a man's softness. We can't recognize a man's emotions and his ability to like be able like the ways for which you untap your emotional body is very traumatic. It's cries and screams that you had since you was a child that you got to kind of relive and unpack. And most men just get hard and
Yeah,
get
and it's like as a man, like to really dive in your divine feminine bag, you really have to like get in the nature of taking care of your body. One thing I really been doing is every Saturday, I found a person who can give me massages and adjust me. They have their own chiropractic studio, but it's like I really just begin that nature. And when you was talking about, those emotions, those things that release, man, I'm just getting things worked out of me, kinks and shit, and I'm busting out laughing, or I'm feeling deep pain, or I'm feeling like just tears. Like, so just experiencing that and going through fasts, it's just really just been a different type of change for me. So, you know,
mm,
I hope any man listen to this, or young man, you really dive into that and don't listen to or don't care about what anyone has to say. If you want to relax and help understand yourself, do that. But at the end of the day, that's just one thing you have to do as recovery. We just don't do that. I'm
mhm,
good, go to bed. We'll wake up, be like, fuck it. I'm gonna just eat my Slim Jim and Coke. It's like we can't be moving like that, man.
mhm. Yeah, man. It is a point of working with the divine feminine aspect that'll have you taking care of yourself, have you really attracting a divine feminine too. It's like a solve all for men. So that's why I say when men we don't believe in God, we're not taught the feminine aspect of God. It's kind of just left out. And so because of that, our understanding towards women is very ill informed and we don't even know how to even address a woman for real. We just like
Mhm.
get lost in the sauce, especially if she starts smiling at us and shit like that. So
Yeah, I feel like the one way to really see and understand the divine feminine, and where they talk about it in the scriptures is Proverbs. It's when they mention Lady Wisdom, because they're discussing Sophia. So we should get into like the Sophia mythos and study that. Of course, it ain't gonna show us how to approach a woman, but it's gonna get into those archetypes that we gotta understand, like the Lilith archetype. That's gonna help us understand the carnal, or the rebellion, or the chaos, or the unorthodox methods or personality types that you might come across within women or within yourself as a man. The deep wisdom within the woman too.
That's a lot of it's like it's a very, I wouldn't say confusing subject, but it's never straightforward because a lot of times I think goddess and feminine mythologies are for men, while masculine mythologies and thoughts are for women to process. A lot of times I feel like because men are to discover their divine feminine energy, we really haven't fully experienced what it looks like because we haven't been able to progress to the level to see, to be like, all right, it's not gay to like fully explore your divine feminine nature, or it's just an exploration of a new vision for the world that is explored through masculinity versus like through women, where women explore the different realms of masculinity, which they do, right? Boss babes and you know,
How to think like a
a lot of
man.
women at the workplace just working, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
driving trucks, doing whatever, you know what I'm saying, feeling that way, whether it's right or wrong. We do see an uptick in women doing things that men do. With that being said, I would say they more comfortable exploring their masculine side, while men, we have a hard time, especially if you're going to be heterosexual and still keep your balance. I don't think that we fully have explored what that looks like.
Yeah, and that's crazy because it's like when you think about it, a lot of men are scared to look soft. They're scared to embrace. Even just like you seeing a man cry is looked at a certain way. So it's like you just being soft is looked as something that's totally wrong for a man. So that's something he's going to try his hardest to avoid.
Yeah, 100%. But you look at the world, and the world is fucked up because humans don't have the capacity to be whole any longer. And they just chasing and running away from something. And it
Mhm.
just seems as though like people just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And it's by design, especially like if it's been a long drawn out plan to separate us from our divine energy.
See, and
Well,
that's something we have to really look into because when you said when we're running for something, and then when you think about the programming, it makes us realize how much we live in fantasy and illusion. Because it's like we neglect a lot of things, and it's like I'm gonna go here. So when we're out of fantasy and illusion, and when we're in reality, it's like something that we can't take. It's something that we have to, we need a fix to stay in. We need a stimulant to help us keep going through the day to be within reality because it's taking away us from our fantasy, from these illusions that serve us to make us drift.
yeah, man.
Or, it's done. It isn't and this doesn't mean that it happens quickly. It's just that you stop participating in the relationship. You see, you can set a quit date. It's like, I'm going to go work on myself. And and then I'm done. And when I'm healed from this, because it's such a traumatic thing. But, you know, you don't understand how you feel about infidelity. And this is where a lot of men, if they don't think that women, if they think women are naturally monogamous, they don't think this is an issue they're going to have. Now, I find that modern men, they aren't like men from the past. I mean, it was very heartbreaking, which is what prompted me to write my book. Because I mean, once I kind of understood some of this stuff, I like done my own research, and I'm like, I'm finished now. I've got the answers I want. But old school males, I mean, they couldn't believe it. Like, it never even entered their head that their wives could cheat. It was just devastating. Their whole world was turned upside down. But I don't find that's the case with younger males. I mean, and I'm sure that you work with lots of men of lots of different ages. I don't find that with the men that I'm working with now, they're not as shocked by it. And they are, and whether they're passive or not, these men are sleuths. They know exactly what their wives do. And that's one of the things that I tell the women that I work with. Because women think that their husbands are clueless. Oh, God, he doesn't know. He's so clueless. Like, honey, he's got every form of... He's recording every word you say. He's probably watched you have sex several times. So first, I want to point out that infidelity...
Sorry about that. Somebody needed meds. What I missed?
Oh, we just played the last part of that video.
Oh, okay. You think dudes are sleuths now? You think dudes are hip to women's movements now?
It's two types of dudes. I feel like dudes that don't give a fuck. But if you love a woman and you're in a relationship with a woman, you not about to play in 2025. At least I don't play. I'm not about to. I'm investing my time, my energy, my resources, and I don't want to. I don't want to trust you. I don't even want you to want me to trust you. I want you to, like, when we go to jail and we gotta go to visiting, and you go to visiting, you get stripped down. You leave visiting, you get stripped down. That's how that shit go.
Yeah, I think your crib should have a phone box at the front door. So as soon as you come in the crib, your phone box got to go in that. Your phone got to go in that box, and your keys got to go in that box. And you don't get your keys or your phone back until you're ready to leave the next day. And while you in the crib, I should have rights to the phone and all of that shit. See, I've been that nigga, right? That has done the searching when they tell you not to search. Oh no, I'm the fuck around, find out type, right? So I've done that before, and just because I've done that, and just because I've been the side nigga before, right? Because of both of those things, I know how an innocent woman can always be perceived as being innocent and get away with murder, right? So the way I look at this shit is completely spiritual now. Like, I'm not trusting shit. I don't care if you're the purest thing since sliced bread. I don't care if you got virtue and chastity, and I don't give a fuck. Any name you could think of that got sacredness connected to it. Like, my thing is, I want to check every single day, because if I have to show up 1000% every single day and earn your love every single day, then I am going to check on you every single day. That's how I'm giving it up.
Yeah, me too. You had this video on there. We need to talk. Is this the same boy from
the dating shows? That's the same one. Yeah, I follow him on YouTube.
Okay, my boy done got.
Yeah, I put a clip of him in our Discord because he is talking about polyamory with Sadie Khan.
Yeah, that's what I got on there. I just queued it off the YouTube.
Number had increased to 100 million. 2020, the number of OnlyFans users was 85 million. But in 2023, that number had increased to 170 million. Is OnlyFans helping or hurting modern dating?
It's destroying modern dating. What I hate about the OnlyFans conversation is how much the focus is on the girls that are ruining dating. There's 120 million users. There's not 120 million OnlyFans models. It's the men that are funding this that are the real problem. It's the men's obvious desire to kind of have interaction with a woman that they're sexually attracted to. That is fueling their poor self-destructive behavior. And there's men that are married that do this. There's men that and so it's a very ugly kind of coping mechanism. But I think something that is underreported is how many of the OnlyFans girls are actually not taking home the money, and it's actually going to a boyfriend that's set it up for her, and it's actually going to a trafficker. So the whole industry is very, it's just a very dirty environment. I can understand from the woman's perspective, she makes more money than she could ever make by herself. And I always say this, like, as a woman who's had endless reach, I don't make a quarter of an OnlyFans model, considering how much I help men. It just shows you where men are prioritizing in this day and age. I don't think it's their fault. I'm sure that the over-sexualization of women and the sexual movement has made them like that. And if it's anything towards a woman who doesn't love you, doesn't care about you, doesn't want you, and you're just paying to see her naked, and you're just paying for her sexual attention, you naturally start to hate yourself. As a man, you naturally start to hate yourself because deep down.
She sounded a little bitter. She's like, considering all the work I do for men. She's a little bit bitter, bro.
And it's like that. Hold on. Peep what she said, right? Watch what I'm about to Google.
And she snitching, like she's talking about the pimps and the traffickers. She's snitching.
Yeah. look how much the average OnlyFans creator earns roughly between a month.
150 to 180 per month.
She said she don't make that much,
which translates to about 2,000 a year. Well, you need to do more interviews, bitch. Like,
Yo, you need to get it. You need to get on your grind, son.
Yes. You ain't doing enough interviews. Like, the fuck?
You only making 2 G's a year is crazy.
That's crazy.
Nah, but I feel like, man, like she said, she want everything to be true, and it can't be true.
Mm-hmm.
If the girls is on OnlyFans, but they not really on OnlyFans, they just it's the manager.
You caught that shit, right?
The trafficker.
You caught that shit. I caught that shit. You caught that shit, right? She trying to pull that shit back. Like, it's not 180 million models. Like that's not what that number mean. Like,
and so it's all of these dudes on OnlyFans. I said that. I was the first person to say that when people was talking about all the girls on OnlyFans. I instantly said, well, what's all these dudes? And a lot of the dudes that's on OnlyFans, they not in America for real.
Nope.
Let's start there.
Yep.
But even if they is on OnlyFans, like, it's like this. It's nothing that I can say about dating besides believe in God, because these niggas got worse shit going on than OnlyFans. I would say if your niggas on OnlyFans, thank God, right?
Thank God that's all it is.
Because your nigga could be on Grindr.
Word. He could
What
be
you
on.
gonna do?
What you gonna do about that? He could be on Telegram with them weird, those weird PDF file dudes, like
the MAGAs.
Yeah.
The MAGAs and the pedestrians.
Yeah, like he could really be ordering pizza at 3:00, bro. Like, you should be happy.
Could be a gigolo and you don't know.
You should be happy.
He could be meeting at a hotel room with all the bros.
Yeah, and OnlyFans is not even expensive, so you should be happy. He should not even be breaking the bank with that. Like, he could get his hopefully he could get his rocks off and not break the bank, I think that's a win-win. Especially if you don't want to have sex with the nigga anyway, right? Like, if you don't want to have sex with this nigga anyway, why should it matter what he doing with his spare time?
Because that be always the thing too. Like, I know people be like, well, yeah, men are disgusting. But we also going to say, like, you know, what is the sexual reality that he's living at home with in reference to how his girl really feel about him? Because from what the last lady said, she not even really fucking with him for real if he a nice guy.
For real.
She wants somebody that's going to scare her, and he just trying to be a good guy. So she not sexually attracted to him in the first place. So she not having sex with him. So now he on OnlyFans because what the fuck else is there to do?
You know what is? Do any nigga know what it's like to be treated like an incel in their own home? Nigga, fuck that, nigga. Fuck that. Why you tell yourself every day, I'm doing this for the kids. I'm doing this to provide. I'm doing this to make her happy, and you don't never make her happy? Fuck that.
It's a weird game once you get into the serious realms of relationships and you have kids. You get into weird territory. And then she will be like, I'm just saying, she's just going to be like, well, a lot of the guys on OnlyFans are married. And it's like, you can make that correlation. Like, you can make that connection.
Absolutely.
Because if you're single, she might feel like you just the right type of dirtbag for her. She giving it up for you. But
exactly.
when you really commit to her, she gonna treat you weird. Like you a lame for wanting even to commit. Why you ain't got hoes?
Facts.
And it's like, all right, we gotta actually understand this for one, and for two, no man should be on OnlyFans, but shit. Yeah. If you marry and you decide to get on OnlyFans instead of cheating or get with a prostitute, ain't that better?
Yeah.
Than actually cheating or like putting yourself at risk. You just like
because you're gonna feel super guilty all the time now, right? Like she gonna cheat on you, my nigga, and she ain't gonna bat an eye. Like she ain't gonna miss a step. But you, one time you gonna cheat and you gonna feel like shit. Like you gonna beat yourself up. You're gonna do all of that weird shit because you feel on such a deep fucking level.
Now, if you do it for the second time, you'll get over it.
Yeah, all right.
Let's see what you're talking about.
Down, you get 10 minutes of pleasure, but really you feel pathetic afterwards. You have to feel pathetic, and if you don't, you should, because the self-esteem of a man is really measured by what he does in the dark. If secretly he's watching a lot of pornography and paying for OnlyFans girls, trying to see them nakedly, there's no way he can be.
We all feel
she had a boyfriend that watched porn. She didn't like it. Yeah. I feel like you're cheating on me when you watch that. Why do you need other women to feel sexually?
I feel like she's been wearing a burqa for 40 years, and she finally got to get out of that burqa, and now she's just talking.
She don't wear no lingerie.
Nah, she Muslim.
There's two keys to success in the middle business. First of all, you gotta stay relaxed. Yeah. You jerk off? Go ahead, jerk off. Yeah. Yeah, I jerk off, yeah. How many times a week? Like, three, four times, maybe. I'm gonna pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket. I myself, I jerk off at least twice a day. Once in the morning right after I work out, and then once right after lunch. Really? Okay? I want to. That's not why I do it. I do it because I need to. Think about it. You're dealing with numbers all day long. Mm-hmm. Decimal points, high frequencies, bang, bang, bang. Digits. All very acidic, above the shoulders, mustard. Mm-hmm. All right? Mm-hmm. It kind of can wig some people out. Mm-hmm. Right? You got to feed the geese to keep the blood flowing. Mm-hmm. And keep the rhythm below the belt. Done.
I'd have played that right in the middle of the interview. She'd have been
Yo, that is so like one of my most favorite fucking scenes of all time. Oh my gosh. Nigga said you gotta get. He said those are child play numbers. You gotta get those numbers up.
I get those numbers up, Bob. She's like, she would have told me that shit. I'm like, girl, I jacked off 21 times in a day once. It was crazy.
I just threw my cum sock in the corner a few minutes ago, bitch. Like, you don't know who you talking to.
You don't know who you talking to, girl. You don't know what it's like.
Oh.
You don't know what it's like in these here parts.
Yeah, man.
Around here.
Yeah, man.
And don't feel bad about it. I actually feel like I have better luck.
Word. You're not gonna have me feeling guilty about that. The fuck?
Hold on.
And you're just paying for her sexual attention, you naturally start to hate yourself. As a man, you naturally start to hate yourself because deep down you get 10 minutes of pleasure, but really you feel pathetic afterwards. You have to feel pathetic, and if you don't, you should, because the self-esteem of a man is really measured by what he does in the dark.
Why are you trying to make me feel bad?
Nah, hold on. I got more. She making me think right now, man.
You got more fire. You got more fire.
Yeah, I do. Read that off.
The global market for sex toys is estimated at US $48.6 billion in 2023, and is projected to reach a US $82.2 billion by 2030, growing at a CAGR of 7.8% from 2023 to 2030. The comprehensive report provides an in-depth analysis of market trends, drivers, and forecasts, helping you make informed business decisions. Bro, $83 billion for anything is crazy.
Damn, son.
Crazy. Listen, and niggas is not buying all of those toys because y'all got the fuck machines. Y'all got the fuck machines. Like, niggas don't got those.
Nah. So how y'all feel after y'all buzz yourself off Buzz Lightyear? Do y'all feel great afterwards, or do y'all feel like shit?
Nah, I'll be on my Montauk Chia shit, man. You supposed to be dispersing that shit to your body.
Nah, how you feel after that rose slither around?
Yeah. How you feel after that, man?
You not feel like crap?
I was watching another John today where John was talking about if she busts a nut, you know, that determines on how she treat her kids every night. So she said she'll be in the kitchen with her rose toy between her legs while she cooking for the kids. I'm like, bro, is this not child abuse? Like, what is going on? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, she said, I'm a better, the reason why I might have sex is because I'm a better mom if I bust a nut.
Yes. I can put it in the chat right now. I can put it in there. I swear to God, it's on my timeline. I swear to God, it's on my timeline. Oh my God. I swear to God, it's on my timeline, bro. I swear, bro.
Nah, man. Bro. Not my mama, man. That's crazy.
Ain't that the girl from Blackstone too? Remember that group, that group, that female R&B group, Blackstone?
I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
that's her, yo. That's her. Yep, that's her. I'm old. I'm showing my age on that one. That's her. Yep, I put it in there.
We had a guest on Lauren Goodger. Do you know Lauren Goodger? Ways essay.
Oh yeah, Lauren. Yes, actually, it's not quite.
Yep, that's her. Yep.
Yes, we spoke a lot about Barb, right? She said something that really struck me, and that was, so she's on OnlyFans.
Okay.
But she's on it reluctantly.
Okay.
because it was the only thing that she could do to keep the bills paid.
So
Yep. Yep. That's how Brownstone was the name of the group. Brownstone. I gotta use the bathroom.
When it was triggering to you.
Yeah, I
But
like that.
maybe you should sit with yourself and dissect what is it about what I said that triggered
It don't
you.
trigger that.
Situation was no longer was going to work for both of us. We were clear about that, and we was able to sever ties, going about our ways, and enjoy the time that we each other.
So you had booty calls with decent human beings.
That's what I'm saying.
That sounds great.
Cash, my question for you is, what's the difference between a booty call and a sneaky link? And did your situation with that man kind of have a blend of both, or was it strictly on one side of the
It was
thing?
strictly on one side because here's what you have to understand. There's an assumption that all women are having booty calls and they're going to catch feelings, but some women are at a place of knowing that they're emotionally unavailable, right? At that time, I was not looking for an emotional attachment. I was looking for an itch to be scratched because coming keeps me happy with my children. That's quite frankly.
We'd like to be happy around us all.
On one side because here's what you have to understand. There's an assumption that all women are having booty calls and they're going to catch feelings, but some women are at a place of knowing that they're emotionally unavailable, right? At that time, I was not looking for an emotional attachment. I was looking for an itch to be scratched because coming keeps me happy with my children.
Yo. So what we saying about that animalistic side? Fuck, man. Not my mama. She said an itch. Hold on, man. I gotta run this back a few times. This is by far the craziest shit.
And did your situation with that man kind of have a blend of both, or was it strictly on one side of the
It was
thing?
strictly on one side because here's what you have to understand. There's an assumption that all women are having booty calls and they're going to catch feelings, but some women are at a place of knowing that they're emotionally unavailable, right? At that time, I was not looking for an emotional attachment. I was looking for an itch to be scratched because coming keeps me happy with my children. That's quite frankly.
We'd like to be happy around us all.
You know, I just if I'm being honest, them little trying my patience all day. So if I nut it, I'm in a better mood. Hey, baby, what do you want for dinner tonight? You can have grilled cheese. You can have chicken nuggets. You can have beef stroganoff if you want. If I just nutted last night. So I'm just being straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, this is powerful fucking work. Like, what the fuck? Yo.
That's how the toy line came about?
That's how, listen, and I'm going to be in the kitchen cooking with a panty vibrator and listening to Baby Shark vibrate my do, 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 do.
Is that not child abuse, bro?
Yeah, there's something wrong about it. Something wrong about it. I can't put my fucking finger on it. Give me that finger shake while them kids around.
I want you to look at her face when you think about what she did. Look at her face, bro.
Look at it.
Like she is so matter of fact.
Nigga,
like,
she whipping the bowl right now. Turn.
Like, the fuck is y'all talking about? Like, I do this every day. Like, bro. Look at her face. Look at
It's like what?
face.
Like when the kids are settled, you run upstairs real quick and come back down. Nah, but all of this is like my shit is, first of all, maybe this is too cliche. Maybe this is too like over the plate. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just I'm serving it too easy. But why the fuck you not with the dad? What they say, we listen, what we don't judge.
Listen, man. I'm not even going to attempt to try and clean that up. I just want to know, is that borderline child abuse?
I don't know.
If a nigga was sitting on the sofa.
Nah, let's reverse it. Let's reverse it real quick.
Okay.
I got on some vibrating boxers while I cook food for my kids. I'm on hard while I'm cooking for my 5 little baby kids. I'm walking around this bitch like a tree trunk, making waffles. how crazy it sounds?
I've been telling my Sims, hey, let me know when Dad out the kitchen when he done cooking.
I'm not fucking with this nigga.
I am not coming out my room ever again. Like,
Yeah, I'm traumatizing
this
them.
nigga got to be at work or something. I'm not coming out the room, bro. Like, I'm climbing out my window every day. Like, bro.
Talk about you want some breakfast,
bro. Bro. Not with the Ving Rhames voice.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Guns and butter, bro. Guns and butter.
I think that Ving Rhames voice has traumatized all of us, nigga.
What snatch little bro up? Jody.
Oh my gosh. I understand it now. That nigga was grown.
Bro. I understand, bro.
His mom was doing what she was supposed to do. Jody was fucked up.
Oh, I got a clip about her too. I forgot to fucking put in the
Oh yes, that's seen that
talking
shit
about
too.
the 50-year-old threesome.
The one on top, one on
bottom. Yeah. She's
For
talking about how they
50.
was violating her, like, bro, and she was excited. She was excited. How they took turns with me. I was like,
yeah.
Bro, she is over 50, bro. Talk about her 50-year-old birthday party. She had 2 dudes take advantage of her. Bro. She was on the Breakfast Club talking about this, bro.
My mama.
And that's what we talking about too. We talking about Jody's mom from the movie. Bro.
Yeah. I would say, man, like, shit, man. Oh my God,
They
man.
are chaos beings, bro. We need to start giving them credit for such.
Yeah, but but old girl in the last video we was watching, it's like, what is we going to do about these damn vibrators? Because you more liable. That's like we not talking about it in a way where it's like men and OnlyFans. Hopefully they giving them like some like little dry rub before they go to work or something, or after they get off work or whatever, they on their lunch break or something, just 5 minutes, get out the way so they can be productive at work. But y'all got like these $7,000 toys and
bro,
like,
those women are at the point of no return. And unfortunately, if you're a dude that ends up in a relationship with a woman who has been doing that, like, she ain't never gonna be your woman. Like, that is the reality.
I think that's a real live thing that nobody is like really talking about for real.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. I don't think it's about necessarily that women don't want anything to do with men anymore. I think they found their substitute. They found their juxtaposition, so to speak. And their juxtaposition, bro, is these toys. Because they can control this toy. They can determine when this toy turn on and when this toy turn off, and that's it.
And it's like, well, girl, in the last video, like, would she consider Shorty right here pathetic? Should Shorty feel pathetic herself? That, every time she make eggs, she got to bust a nut before she make eggs. Like, is she pathetic now?
No, the woman before her, Sadie is a repressed ex-Muslim. Okay, she wore a burqa for 85% of her life. Like, I think this is just her now being able to come outside like that for like the last 10 years. So her talking about this stuff is a tad bit disingenuous because she's also speaking to it from a jaded position of, I never got to do this. So, like, you can always sense the bitter tone in the way that she delivers her, when she tries to land her plane on a point. Like, you can tell the bitterness in her voice.
Jesus be looking down at you niggas masturbating.
Don't tell them niggas about their ancestors in their bedroom watching them masturbate. Don't tell them that.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, I feel like shit. I don't think you should masturbate, but I don't think you shouldn't masturbate. I think you gotta explore yourself. I think that's just normal and natural.
Mhm.
And I think the problem is you growing up with your mama and your mama like, boy, what you doing masturbating? You never should have been touching on your like you have that phobia when it comes to exploring and touching yourself, and it's your body. You should understand it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you buy in devices, you taking that shit too far. Like you gotta really like. I don't even know. I don't even know because I think it get to a point where women just don't give a fuck about men for real, and that's kind of where we at because at a sexual level, if you ain't fucking her like you know what I'm saying, like with the vibrating function, maybe she not gonna like it. So it's like, you know, that nerve damage and all of that. Y'all act like niggas act like it ain't real, nigga. I swear to God, that shit real.
That shit's super real, nigga. Like once that is damaged, there is no coming back from that. And like you said, that's a hard conversation to have because I think a lot of women's shit is already at that point. But she wouldn't tell you that any more than she's gonna tell you that she'd like to sleep with your best friend. So
But y'all gotta have a conversation,
I gotta
and
have
then
it.
y'all gotta be like, all right, we gonna work through it.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna repair it.
Mm-hmm.
But say for instance, she be like, oh yeah, I don't. You might get a girl, and she be like, I don't even like having sex. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like you always worried about sex. Like I don't like that. That's giving me the ick or some shit like that. But my
Mhm.
thing is like, it's a reason you feel like that, and it ain't because of me. I just
Nope.
met your ass.
Damn sure ain't. But dudes want to please the woman so badly that a dude will end up thinking that he is the one at fault in that situation too. Like he'll end up
Mm-hmm.
thinking that shit just by default because you just want to be with the girl so bad.
Mm-hmm. But you don't know what she did last summer.
I swear to God, did you just came up with that? I swear to
Yeah,
God,
that's my first
that is a
time.
hook. That is the best hook ever. Like we got to end the show on that right there, bro. That
Yeah,
was
bro.
awesome, nigga.
You don't know.
You don't know what the fuck
So
she did last summer.
yeah, man. Man, what's y'all socials before we get up out of here? I know they at the bottom of the screen, but just for posterity's sake, maybe you switched it up.
Dark Satan,
AD
man.
underscore 33. AD underscore Simpa 33. Make sure you get at me. Hit me up. Tap in with the Discord. FlameOnShop.com. You know, really fuck with the ashwagandha and the chicory root. And I promise you your fasting gonna be smooth.
Dark Sacred underscore Serpent 823 on Instagram. Same thing on TikTok, same thing on all social sites. Yeah, fuck around and find out. Come fuck with us. FlameOnShop.com. FlameOnShop.com. Join the Discord.
For sure, man. At the Mystic, WhiteRabbitSite.com, 25% off all month. Shop with your boy. See y'all on the flip side. Peace.